escape the king of death, and travel on. Death overtakes the man who gathers flowers, when with distracted mind and thirsty senses he searches vainly for happiness in the pleasures of the world. Death fetches him away as a flood carries off a sleeping village. Death overcomes him when, with distracted mind and thirsty senses, he gathers flowers. He will never have his fill of the pleasures of the world. The bee gathers nectar from the flower without marring its beauty or perfume. So let the master settle and wander. Look to your own faults, what you have done or left undone. Overlook the faults of others. Like a lovely flower, bright but scentless, are the fine but empty words of the man who does not mean what he says. Like a lovely flower, bright and fragrant, are the fine and truthful words of the man who means what he says. Like garlands woven from a heap of flowers, fashion from your life as many good deeds. The perfume of sandalwood, rosebay, or jasmine cannot travel against the wind, but the fragrance of virtue travels even against the wind as far as the ends of the world. How much finer is the fragrance of virtue than of sandalwood, rosebay, of the blue lotus, or jasmine? The fragrance of sandalwood and rosebay does not travel far, but the fragrance of virtue rises to the heavens. Desire never crosses the path of virtuous and wakeful men. Their brightness sets them free. How sweetly the lotus grows in the litter of the wayside. Its pure fragrance delights the heart. Follow the awakened, and from among the blind, the light of your wisdom will shine out purely. The Fool. How long the night to the watchman, how long the road to the weary traveler, how long the wandering of many lives to the fool who misses the way. If the traveler cannot find master or friend to go with him, let him travel on alone rather than with a fool for company. My children, my wealth, so the fool troubles himself. But how has he children or wealth? He is not even his own master. The fool, who knows he is a fool, is that much wiser. The fool who thinks he is wise is a fool indeed. Does the spoon taste the soup? A fool may live all his life in the company of a master and still miss the way. The tongue tastes the soup. If you are awake in the presence of a master, one moment will show you the way. The fool is his own enemy. The mischief he does is his undoing. How bitterly he suffers. Why do what you will regret? Why bring tears upon yourself? Do only what you do not regret, and fill yourself with joy. For a while, the fool's mischief tastes sweet, sweet as honey. But in the end it turns bitter, and how bitterly he suffers. For months the fool may fast, eating from the tip of a grass blade. Still, he is not worth a penny beside the master whose food is the way. Fresh milk takes time to sour, so a fool's mischief takes time to catch up with him. Like the embers of a fire, it smolders within him. Whatever a fool learns, it only makes him duller. Knowledge cleaves his head, but then he wants recognition, a place before other people, a place over other people. Let them know my work, let everyone look to me for direction. Such are his desires, such is his swelling pride. One way leads to wealth and fame, recognition, but follow the awakened and set yourself free.
Being diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, or any other type of blood cancer makes people want more time.
Okay, this is going to be my meditation. I have a very special book called India's Love Lyrics by Nicholson. This is love hypnosis. I hope you enjoy. These are poems and verses. And I'm going to create clips on YouTube. I'm going to create 10. This will be a 30-minute reading or more, about an hour's worth. I'll read you a little something about this book. These are the contents. This book is 123 years old. It's by John Lane. That's the copyright. Contents are less than dust, to the unattainable, in the early pearly morning, reverie of Muhammad Akram at the tamarind tank, song of Khan Zada, the teak forest, Valgovin's boat song, Kashmiri song by Juma, Zira in captivity, marriage thoughts by Morsalan Khan to the unattainable. Let's see what else is there. There's a lot. Youth, farewell, Afridi love. These are all poems. No rival like the past. Verse by Taj Muhammad, the singer, malaria, fancy Feroza, starlight. India's love lyrics. Somebody's wishing me a little birthday. Oh! One sec. Sorry. The challenge of doing recording all this stuff is distractions. But anyways, the most annoying part is you have to go back and make all these stupid YouTube videos public because they get saved as private when you create a clip. I'm not so sure I want to read this book right now. It's not bad, but I think I'm gonna pass and get something else. So going back to Dhammapada.
The wise man. The wise man tells you where you have fallen, and where you yet may fall. Invaluable secrets. Follow him. Follow the way. Let him chasten and teach you and keep you from mischief. The world may hate him, but good men love him. Do not look for bad company, or live with men who do not care. Find friends who love the truth. Drink deeply. Live in serenity and joy. The wise man delights in the truth and follows the law of the awakened. The farmer channels water to his land, the fletcher whittles his arrows, and the carpenter turns his wood. So the wise man directs his mind. The wind cannot shake a mountain.
Okay, this is what we're gonna read. These are Buddhist writings with an introductory note. These are sacred writings, Harvard Press. This is the introductory note. This will be the first recording. Siddhartha Gautama, known as Buddha, the Awakened, was the son of the ruler of Kakya land, a region lying in the northeast of Uda in northern India. The date of his birth is placed around 557 BC. He was born a warrior prince, but at the age of 29, after having married and had a son, he determined to renounce the world. Abandoning his family and his possessions, he gave himself up to asceticism and concentration of thought. Under the direction of masters of this discipline, after 7 years, he concluded that this method brought him no nearer to the wisdom he sought as a means of escaping rebirth into a life which he had found not worth living, and for a time he tried starvation and self-torture. This also availed him nothing, when suddenly, sitting under the sacred fig tree at Bodhi Gaya, he became illumined and saw the great truths. Henceforth he was known as Buddha. Gautama's first aim had been merely his own salvation, but moved by pity for mankind, he resolved to bestow on others the four great truths and the eightfold path. Beginning his ministry at Benares, he converted first 5 monks, who had previously been his fellows in asceticism, then many of the noble youth of the city, then 1,000 Brahmin priests. The rest of his life was spent in wandering about and preaching his new creed, which spread with extraordinary rapidity. He died not far from his native region about the year 477 BC. The foregoing outline selects what seem the most reliable main elements in a biography which has naturally become saturated with legend of latter growth, the teachings of Buddha, so similar in its pessimistic view of life to that of the Book of Ecclesiastes, is amply represented in the following writings. Om. The Buddha, the story of Sumedha, translated from the introduction to the Jataka. 100,000 cycles vast and 4 immensities ago, there was a town named Amara, a place of beauty and delights. It had the noises 10 complete, and food and drink abundantly. The noise of elephant and horse, of conch shell, drum, and chariot, and invitations to partake. Eat ye and drink resounded loud. A town complete in all its parts, where every industry was found. and eke the 7 precious gems. And foreigners from many lands, a prosperous city of the gods, full of good works and holy men. Within this town of Amara, Sumedha lived of Brahmin caste, who many tens of millions had, and grain and treasure in full store. A student he, and wise in spells, a master of the Vedas 3, he fortunes told, tradition knew, in every dust of his caste. In secret then I sat me down, and thus to ponder I began, what misery to be born again, and have the flesh dissolve at death, subject to birth, old age, disease, extinction will I seek to find, where no decay is ever known, nor death, but all security. What if I now should rid me of this body foul, this charnel house, go my way without a care, or least regret for things behind? There must be an escape. Impossible there should not be. I'll make the search and find the way, which from existence shall release. Even as although there misery is, yet happiness is also found, so though indeed existence is, a non-existence should be sought. Even as, although there may be heat, yet grateful cold is also found, so, though the threefold fire exists, likewise, nirvana should be sought. Even as, although there evil is, that which is good is also found. So, though 'tis true that birth exists, that which is not birth should be sought. Even as a man befouled with dung, seeing a briming lake at hand, and nathless bathing not therein, where senseless should be chide the lake, so, when nirvana's lake exists, to wash away corruption's stain, should I not seek to bathe therein, I might not then nirvana chide. Even as a man hemmed in by foes, seeing a certain safe escape, and nathless seeking not to flee, might not the blameless pathway chide. So when my passions hem me in, and yet a way to bliss exists, should I not seek to follow it, that way of bliss I might not chide? Even as a man, who sore diseased, when a physician may be had, should fail to send to have him come, might the physician then not chide? So when diseased with passion, sore oppressed, I seek the master not, whose ghostly counsel me might cure. The blame should not on him be laid, even as a man might rid him of a horrid corpse bound to his neck, then upon his way proceed, joyous and free and unconstrained. So must I likewise rid me of this body foul, this charnel house, go my way without a care or least regret for things behind, as men and women rid them of their dung upon the refuse heap, go their ways without a care or least regret for what they leave, so will I likewise rid me of this body foul, this charnel house, and go my way as if I had cast out my filth into the draught, even as the owners leave and quit a worn-out, shattered, leaky ship. Go their ways without a care, or least regret for what they leave, so will I likewise rid me of this nine-holed, ever-trickling frame, go my way as owners do, who ship disrupted leave behind, even as a man who treasures bears, finds him in robber gang, will quickly flee and rid him of the robbers, lest they steal his gold. So, to a mighty robber might be likened well this body's frame. I'll cast it off and go my way, lest of my welfare I be robbed. Thus thinking, I, unrich and poor, all that I had in alms bestowed, hundreds of millions spent I then, and made to Himavant my way. Not far away from Himavant, there was a hill named Damaka, and here I made the patterned well, a hermitage and hut of leaves. A walking place I then laid out, exempted from the 5 defects, and having all the virtues 8. And there I gained the 6 high powers. Then ceased I cloaks of cloth to wear, for cloaks possess the 9 defects, and girded on a buccan dress, which is with virtues 12 endued. My hut of leaves I then forsook, so crowded with the 8 defects. Native gloss. Exempted from, this is the subnote, exempted from the 5 defects. The following are the 5 defects in a walking place: hardness and unevenness, trees in the midst, dense underbrush, excessive narrowness, excessive width. And having all the 8 virtues, having the 8 advantages for a monk. The following are the 8 advantages for a monk. It admits no storing up of treasure or grain. It favors only a blameless alms-seeking. There one can eat his alms in peace and quiet. There no annoyance is experienced from the reigning families when they oppress the kingdom with the levies of the precious metals or of leaden money. No passionate desire arises for furniture and implements. There is no fear of being plundered by robbers. No intimacies are formed with kings and courtiers, and one is not shut in any of the 4 directions. For cloaks possess the 9 defects. For one who retires from the world takes up the life of an anchorite. There are 9 defects inherent in garments of cloth. The great cost is 1 defect. The fact that it is got by dependence on others is another. The fact that it is easily soiled by use in another. For when it has been soiled, it must be washed and dyed. The fact that when it is much worn, it must needs be patched and mended in another. The difficulty of obtaining a new one when needed is another. Its unsuitableness for an anchorite who has retired from the world is another. Its acceptableness to one's enemies is another, for it must needs be guarded lest the enemy take it. The danger that it may be worn for ornament is another. The temptation it affords to load oneself down with it in traveling is another. The bast or inner bark of certain trees was much used in India as cloth, to which indeed it bears a striking resemblance, which is with virtues 12 endued, possessing 12 advantages. For there are 12 advantages in a dress of bark. It is cheap, good, and suitable. This is 1 advantage. You can make it yourself. This is a 2nd. It gets dirty but slowly by use, and hence time is not wasted in washing it. This is 3rd. It never needs sewing, which even when much used and worn, this is a 4th. But when a new one is needed, it can be made with ease. This is a 5th. Its suitableness for an anchorite who has retired from the world is a 6th. That is of no use to one's enemies is a 7th. That it cannot be worn for ornament is an 8th. Its lightness is a 9th. Its conducing to moderation in dress is a 10th. The irreproachableness and blamelessness of searching for bark is an 11th, and the unimportance of its loss is a 12th. My hut of leaves I then forsook, so crowded with 8 defects, for there are 8 evils connected with the use of a leaf hut. The great labor involved in searching for materials and in putting them together is 1 evil. The constant care necessary to replace. Holy crap, this is going to go on forever. Can you believe all this? The 12 advantages of wearing leaves as your dress. It never ends. Okay, I don't know if I want to continue on. It goes on and on and on and on. So this is the story of Sumedha. And this entire story related by the Buddha to his disciples described how in his long existence as the Brahmin Sumedha, he first resolved to strive for the Buddhaship. In stanzas 4 through 5, he speaks of himself, that is, of Sumedha, in the third person, but elsewhere in the first. Only 6 of the 10 noises indicative of a flourishing town are here mentioned for the complete list. This is kind of interesting. Many people might call themselves Buddhists, but I bet you they've never even read this. And also, this predates Jesus, so it makes me think that this information was probably circulated, and thus, you know, we get more of it in a different version from Jesus. We could read a little more, but I'm going to take a break from that. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed. We're going to go back to the Dhammapada, which is more writings of the Buddha.
Neither praise nor blame moves the wise man. He is clarity. Hearing the truth, he is like a lake, pure and tranquil and deep. Want nothing. Where there is desire, say nothing. Happiness or sorrow, whatever befalls you, walk on, untouched, unattached. Do not ask for family or power or wealth, either for yourself or for another. Can a wise man wish to rise unjustly? Few cross over the river. Most are stranded on this side. On the river bank, they run up and down. But the wise man, following the way, crosses over beyond the reach of death. He leaves the dark way for the way of light. He leaves his home, seeking happiness on the hard road. Free from desire, free from possessions, free from the dark places of the heart, free from attachment and appetite, following the 7 lights of awakening, and rejoicing greatly in his freedom. In this world, the wise man becomes himself a light, pure, shining, free.
Could we use your house to trial our 24-hour bathroom upgrade system? We're looking for homeowners.
The Master. At the end of the way, the Master finds freedom from desire and sorrow, freedom without bounds. Those who awaken never rest in one place. Like swans, they rise and leave the lake. On the air they rise and fly an invisible course, gathering nothing, storing nothing. Their food is knowledge. They live upon emptiness. They have seen how to break free. Who can follow them? Only the Master. Such is his purity. Like a bird, he rises on the limitless air and flies an invisible course. He wishes for nothing. His food is knowledge. He lives upon emptiness. He has broken free. He is the charioteer. He has tamed his horses, pride, and the senses. Even the gods admire him. Yielding like the earth, joyous and clear like the lake, still as the stone at the door, he is free from life and death. His thoughts are still. His words are still. His work is stillness. He sees his freedom and is free. The Master surrenders his beliefs. He sees beyond the end and the beginning. He cuts all ties. He gives up all his desires. He resists all temptations. And he rises. And wherever he lives, in the city or the country, in the valley or in the hills, there is great joy. Even in the empty forest, he finds joy, because he wants nothing. The thousands. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. Better than 1,000 hollow verses is one verse that brings peace. Better than 100 hollow lines is one line of the law bringing peace. It is better to conquer yourself than to win 1,000 battles. Then the victory is yours. It cannot be taken from you, not by angels or by demons, heaven or hell. Better than 100 years of worship, better than 1,000 offerings, better than giving up 1,000 worldly ways in order to win merit. Better even than tending in the forest a sacred flame for 100 years is one moment's reverence for the man who has conquered himself. To revere such a man, a master old in virtue and holiness, is to have victory over life itself and beauty, strength and happiness. Better than 100 years of mischief is one day spent in contemplation. Better than 100 years of ignorance is one day spent in reflection. Better than 100 years of idleness is one day spent in determination. Better to live one day wondering how all things arise and pass away. Better to live 1 hour seeing the one life beyond the way. Better to live one moment in the moment of the way beyond the way. Mischief. Be quick to do good. If you are slow, the mind, delighting in mischief, will catch you. Turn away from mischief again and again. Turn away before sorrow befalls you. Set your heart on doing good. Do it over and over again, and you will be filled with joy. A fool is happy until his mischief turns against him, and a good man may suffer until his goodness flowers. Do not make light of your failings, saying, "What are they to me?" A jug fills drop by drop, so the fool becomes brimful of folly. Do not belittle your virtues, saying they are nothing. A jug fills drop by drop, so the wise man becomes brimful of virtue. As the rich merchant with few servants shuns a dangerous road, and the man who loves life shuns poison, beware the dangers of folly and mischief. For an unwounded hand may have poison, the innocent come to no harm. But as dust thrown against the wind, mischief is blown back in the face of the fool who wronged the pure and harmless. Some are reborn in hell, some in this world, the good in heaven, but the pure are not reborn. Nowhere. Not in the sky, nor in the midst of the sea, nor deep in the mountains can you hide from your own mischief. Not in the sky, nor in the midst of the ocean, nor deep in the mountains. Nowhere can you hide from your own death.
Kevin Anderson's writers and editors made a masterpiece out of my story and created a strong book proposal to go with it. Thanks to their expertise and Kevin Anderson's connections in the publishing industry, my proposal was put in front of an incredible team of literary agents who were able to get me a book deal with Bay Street, HarperCollins imprint. I'm a relatively unknown author with no built-in audience to sell thousands of books to. But within a few months, I was a best-selling author, and my book, Blue Collar Cash, would not have had the reach, the readership, or the national media exposure it has without all the people Kevin Anderson had assembled at KAA. It's because of their team that I can say I have a best-selling book that's worth your time to read. And I know they can do the same for you.
Violence. All beings tremble before violence. All fear death. All love life. See yourself in others. Then whom can you hurt? What harm can you do? He who seeks happiness by hurting those who seek happiness will never find happiness. For your brother is like you. He wants to be happy. Never harm him, and when you leave this life, you too will find happiness. Never speak harsh words, for they will rebound upon you. Angry words hurt, and the hurt rebounds. Like a broken gong, be still, be silent. Know the stillness of freedom, where there is no more striving. Like herdsmen driving their cows into the fields, old age and death will drive you before them. But the fool in his mischief forgets, and he lights the fire wherein one day he must burn. He who harms the harmless or hurts the innocent, 10 times shall he fall, into torment or infirmity, injury or disease or madness, persecution or fearful accusation, loss of family, loss of fortune. Fire from heaven shall strike his house, and when his body has been struck down, he shall rise in hell. He who goes naked with matted hair, mud bespattered, who fasts and sleeps on the ground and smears his body with ashes, and sits in endless meditation, so long as he is not free from doubts, he will not find freedom. But he who lives purely and self-assured, in quietness and virtue, who is without harm or hurt or blame, even if he wears fine clothes, so long as he also has faith, he is a true seeker. A noble horse rarely feels the touch of the whip. Who is there in this world as blameless? Then, like a noble horse, smart under the whip, burn and be swift, believe, meditate, see, be harmless, be blameless, awake to the law, and from all sorrow free yourself. The farmer channels water to his land, the fletcher whittles his arrows, the carpenter turns his wood, and the wise man masters himself. Old age. The world is on fire, and are you laughing? You are deep in the dark. Will you not ask for light? For behold your body, a painted puppet, a toy, jointed and sick, and full of false imaginings, a shadow that shifts and fades. How frail it is, frail and pestilent. It sickens, festers, and dies. Like every living thing, in the end, it sickens and dies. Behold these whitened bones, the hollow shells and husks of a dying summer. And are you laughing? You are a house of bones, flesh and blood for plaster. Pride lives in you, and hypocrisy, decay, and death. The glorious chariots of kings shatter, so also the body turns to dust. But the spirit of purity is changeless, and so the pure instruct the pure. The ignorant man is an ox. He grows in size, not in wisdom. Vainly I sought the builder of my house through countless lives. I could not find him. How hard it is to tread life after life. But now I see you, O builder, and never again shall you build my house. I have snapped the rafters, split the ridgepole, and beaten out desire, and now my mind is free. There are no fish in the lake. The long-legged cranes stand in the water. Sad is the man who in his youth lived loosely and squandered his fortune. Sad as a broken bow, and sadly is he sighing after all that has arisen and has passed away. Yourself. Love yourself and watch. Today, tomorrow, always. First, establish yourself in the way. Then teach, and so defeat sorrow. To straighten the crooked, you must first do a harder thing. Straighten yourself. You are your only master. Who else? Subdue yourself and discover your master. Willfully, you have fed your own mischief. Soon it will crush you as the diamond crushes stone. By your own folly, you will be brought as low as your worst enemy wishes. So the creeper chokes the tree. How hard it is to serve yourself. How easy to lose yourself. Mischief and folly. The kashtari dies when it bears fruit. So the fool, scorning the teachings of the awakened, spurning those who follow the law, perishes when his folly flowers. Mischief is yours, sorrow is yours, but virtue also is yours, and purity. You are the source of all purity and all impurity. No one purifies another. Never neglect your work for another's, however great his need. Your work is to discover your work, and then, with all your heart, to give yourself to it.
Say. Now,
The
if you go
world.
to a place like Saudi Arabia or the
Do not
UAE or
live in the
Qatar,
world in
if I was to say,
distraction
"God
and
damn
false
it, is that
dreams
trench?"
outside
And a
the
police
law.
officer heard that, that
Arise
is a jailable
and
offense.
watch.
How dare you speak like
Follow
that?
the
Well,
way
you don't
joyfully
have
through this world
similar
and
to freedom
beyond.
of speech there, and
Follow
is
the
that
way of
necessary?
virtue.
Hold on. But is that
Follow the
necessarily
way
bad?
joyfully
Where you basically
through
is
this
a mind
world
where you have
and
monarchs,
on
then
beyond.
there is no democracy.
Or
I
consider
can't say
the
it's bad
world
they don't allow
a bubble, a mirage.
cursing in
See
public.
the world as it is, and death shall overlook you. Come, consider the world. A painted chariot for kings, a trap for fools. But he who sees goes free. As the moon slips from behind a cloud and shines, so the master comes out from behind his ignorance and shines. This world is in darkness. How few have eyes to see. How few the birds who escape the net and fly to heaven. Swans rise and fly toward the sun. What magic! So do the pure conquer the armies of illusion and rise and fly. If you scoff at heaven and violate the law, if your words are lies, where will your mischief end? The fool laughs at generosity. The miser cannot enter heaven. But the master finds joy in giving, and happiness is his reward. And more, for greater than all the joys of heaven and of earth, greater still than dominion over all the worlds, is the joy of reaching the stream. The man who is awake, he is awake. The victory is his. He has conquered the world. How can he lose the way who is beyond the way? His eye is open. His foot is free. Who can follow after him? The world cannot reclaim him or lead him astray, nor can the poisoned net of desire hold him. He is awake. The gods watch over him. He is awake and finds joy in the stillness of meditation and in the sweetness of surrender. Hard it is to be born. Hard it is to live. Harder still to hear of the way, and hard to rise, follow, and awake. Yet the teaching is simple. Do what is right, be pure. At the end of the way is freedom. Till then, patience. If you wound or grieve another, you have not learned detachment. Offend in neither word nor deed. Eat with moderation. Live in your heart. Seek the highest consciousness. Master yourself according to the law. This is the simple teaching of the awakened. The rain could turn to gold, and still your thirst would not be slaked. Desire is unquenchable, or it ends in tears, even in heaven. He who wishes to awake consumes his desires joyfully. In his fear, a man may shelter in mountains, or in forests, in groves of sacred trees, or in shrines. But how can he hide there from his sorrow? He who shelters in the way and travels with those who follow it comes to see the four great truths concerning sorrow, the beginning of sorrow, the eightfold way, and the end of sorrow. Then, at last, he is safe. He has shaken off sorrow. He is free. The awakened are few and hard to find. Happy is the house where a man awakes. Blessed is his birth. Blessed is the teaching of the way. Blessed is the understanding among those who follow it. And blessed is their determination. And blessed are they who revere the man who awakes and follows the way. They are free from fear. They are free. They have crossed over the river of sorrow.
Copayment, coinsurance, are you confused? Let me break it down. Copayment is a fixed flat amount. Coinsurance is a percentage. You may have a $20 copay for a doctor visit, or you may have a 20% coinsurance for a procedure. Take a look at your plan.
There's no peace in this world. You're trying to listen to the Dhammapada and you get hit with another Medicare Medicaid advertisement.
Joy. Live in joy, in love, even among those who hate. Live in joy, in health, even among the afflicted. Live in joy, in peace, even among the troubled. Live in joy without possessions, like the shining ones. The winner sows hatred because the loser suffers. Let go of winning and losing, and find joy. There is no fire like passion, no crime like hatred, no sorrow like separation, no sickness like hunger, and no joy like the joy of freedom. Health, contentment, and trust are your greatest possessions, and freedom your greatest joy. Look within. Be still. Free from fear and attachment. Know the sweet joy of the way. How joyful to look upon the awakened and to keep company with the wise. How long the road to the man who travels with a fool, but whoever follows those who follow the way discovers his family and is filled with joy. Follow then the shining ones, the wise, the awakened, the loving, for they know how to work and forbear. Follow them as the moon follows the path of the stars. Pleasure. Do not let pleasure distract you from meditation, from the way. Free yourself from pleasure and pain, for in craving pleasure or in nursing pain, there is only sorrow. Like nothing, lest you lose it, lest it bring you grief and fear. Go beyond likes and dislikes. passion and desire, sensuousness and lust, arise grief and fear. Free yourself from attachment. He is pure and sees. He speaks the truth and lives it. He does his own work. So he is admired and loved. With a determined mind and undesiring heart, he longs for freedom. He is called Udam Soto, he who goes upstream. When a traveler at last comes home from a far journey, with what gladness his family and his friends receive him. Even so shall your good deeds welcome you like friends, and with what rejoicing when you pass from this life to the next. Anger. Let go of anger. Let go of pride. When you are bound by nothing, you go beyond sorrow. Anger is like a chariot careering wildly. He who curbs his anger is the true charioteer. Others merely hold the reins. With gentleness, overcome anger. With generosity, overcome meanness. With truth, overcome deceit. Speak the truth. Give whatever you can. Never be angry. These 3 steps will lead you into the presence of the gods. The wise harm no one. They are masters of their bodies, and they go to the boundless country. They go beyond sorrow. Those who seek perfection keep watch by day and night till all desires vanish. Listen, Attila, this is not new. It is an old saying. They blame you for being silent. They blame you when you talk too much and when you talk too little. Whatever you do, they blame you. The world always finds a way to praise and a way to blame. It always has, and it always will. But who dares blame the man whom the wise continually praise, whose life is virtuous and wise, who shines like a coin of pure gold? Even the gods praise him, even Brahma praises him. Beware of anger of the body. Master the body, let it serve truth. Beware of the anger of the mouth. Master your words, let them serve truth. Beware of the anger of the mind. Master your thoughts, let them serve truth. The wise have mastered body, word, and mind. They are the true masters. Impurity. You are as the yellow leaf. The messengers of death are at hand. You are to travel far away. What will you take with you? You are the lamp to lighten the way. Then hurry, hurry. When your light shines without impurity or desire, you will come into the boundless country.
From chaos to comfort. We're here for it all. Kind Thread.
Introducing the all-new Acrobat Studio. With back-to-school joy also comes with a million handouts. I'm not sweating it, and let me tell you why. Quickly get insights from docs, create content, and have access to all the PDF tools, all in one place. So I collect all my back-to-school PDFs. I can even include web links, Word docs, PowerPoints, and a bunch more file types. I upload them, and this creates a PDF space. This space is going to be called Database. Database. Share this PDF space with my wife, and now we have a personalized hub, a central.
Okay, I'm going to read from the Dhammapada, which is what you've been listening to, just for a few minutes, and then I'm going to go back to sitting in the sun. Om. Mind is the forerunner of all actions. All deeds are led by mind, created by mind. If one speaks or acts with a corrupt mind, suffering follows, as the wheel follows the hoof of an ox pulling a cart. Mind is the forerunner of all actions. All deeds are led by mind, created by mind. If one speaks or acts with a serene mind, happiness follows, as surely as one's shadow. He abused me, mistreated me, defeated me, robbed me. Harboring such thoughts keeps hatred alive. He abused me, mistreated me, defeated me, robbed me. Releasing such thoughts banishes hatred for all time. Animosity does not eradicate animosity. Only by loving kindness is animosity dissolved. This law is ancient and eternal. Om. There are those who are aware that they are always facing death. Knowing this, they put aside all quarrels. The one who lives for sensation, indulgent in eating, lazy, and lacking in energy, the tempter Mara breaks, just as the wind breaks a frail tree. Subnote Mara. In Buddhist scripture, Mara is a metaphor for temptations or passions personified, neither male nor female, hence the use of tempter. The one who lives mindfully, senses under control, moderate in eating, devout, energetic, cannot be overthrown by Mara, just as the wind cannot shake a rocky mountain. The monk's robe does not in itself render one free from stain. If the one who wears that robe is lacking in self-control and honesty, he is unworthy of such a robe. Only one who is free from stain, well-disciplined, honest, and endowed with self-control is worthy of the monk's robe. Those who fail to distinguish the non-essential from the essential, and the essential from the non-essential, will, in feeding on wrong thoughts, fail to attain the essential. On the other hand, those who correctly perceive the essential as essential and the non-essential as non-essential will, in feeding on right thoughts, attain the essential. As rain pours through badly thatched houses, so does desire penetrate the undeveloped mind. As rain fails to pour through a well-thatched house, so does desire fail to penetrate the well-developed mind. For the doer of evil there is only grief, here as well as hereafter. In both states he experiences grief, seeing his own unwholesome acts. For the doer of good deeds there is rejoicing, here as well as hereafter. Joy and more joy are his, as he sees his own right action. The doer of evil reaps suffering, here and hereafter. In both states remembering I have committed evil, not only here but hereafter. He experiences more suffering because he has gone to a state of suffering. The doer of good deeds reaps happiness here and hereafter. In both states remembering I have done good deeds, and there is more joy because he has gone to a blissful state. Careless person, quote much of the scriptural text but not living it, cannot share the abundance of the holy life, just as the cowherd counting other people's cattle cannot taste the milk or ghee. Reciting a small portion of the scriptures, but putting it diligently into practice, letting go of passion, aggression, and confusion, revering the truth with a clear mind, and not clinging to anything, here or hereafter, brings the harvest of the holy life. Mindfulness is the path to immortality. Negligence is the path to death. The vigilant never die, whereas the negligent are the living dead. With this understanding, the wise, having developed a high degree of mindfulness, rejoice in mindfulness. Delighting in the domain of the noble ones. These awakened ones dedicated to meditation, striving actively and vigorously, attain nirvana, the ultimate security. The fame and fortune of the man who is vigorous, aware, unsullied, acting with consideration and restraint, become ever growing. The wise man, by vigor, mindfulness, restraint, self-control, creates for himself an island which no flood can submerge. The foolish, the unwise, surrender themselves to negligence, whereas the wise man protects mindfulness as his most valuable possession. Don't lose yourself in negligence. Don't lose yourself in sensuality. For it is the mindful and meditative man who will experience supreme happiness. When the enlightened man frees himself from careless behavior through mindfulness, free of sorrow, he gazes on the sorrowing masses, as one on the mountaintop gazes on the plain below. The mindful person among the mindless, the aware person among the unaware, surpasses the rest with his wisdom like a superb racehorse outstripping an old worn-out horse. By mindfulness did the Magavat, Lord of Two Realms, reach the position of authority among the gods. So vigilance is ever praised, and negligence ever disdained. A seeker, concentrating on mindfulness, advances like a fire, consuming the chains of bondage both great and small. A monk or lay person, rejoicing in mindfulness, seeking the danger of negligence, cannot fall backwards and is close to nirvana. Hey, Concrete, I heard you talking in Chillism the other day. I was actually kind of impressed with what you were saying. I was enjoying it. but just for like 30 seconds or something. Maybe a minute. You had a good take on something. I don't remember what it was, but it was it was funny actually. It's kind of funny. Okay, this is the third chapter of the Dhammapada. Just as an arrowsmith shapes an arrow to perfection with fire, so does the wise man shape his mind, which is fickle, unsteady, vulnerable, and erratic. Like a fish taken from the safety of its watery home and cast upon the dry land, so does this mind flutter, due to the lure of the tempter. Therefore one should leave the dominion of Mara. How good it is to rein the mind, which is unruly, capricious, rushing wherever it pleases. The mind so harnessed will bring one happiness. A wise man should pay attention to his mind, which is very difficult to perceive. It is extremely subtle and wanders wherever it pleases. The mind well guarded and controlled will bring him happiness. One who keeps a rein on the wandering mind, which strays far and wide, alone, bodiless, will be freed from the tyranny of the tempter. A man of fickle mind will never attain wisdom to its fullest, since he is ignorant of the Dhamma and has wavering faith. The heart of the fully conscious man is fearless. He has freed his mind of lust and anger. He has transcended both good and evil. Observe this body as fragile as an earthen vase. Build a mind as solid as a fortified city. Then confront Mara with the weapon of insight. And proceeding without attachment, guard what you have already conquered. Certainly before long this body will lie on the ground, lifeless and unconscious, cast aside like a useless dog. Log. A mind out of control will do more harm than two angry men engaged in combat. A well-directed mind creates more well-being than the wholesome actions of parents toward their children. Flowers. Who can truly see this earth, this body, this world of human beings, as well as the realm of gods? Who is able to distill the wisdom of the Dhamma, as skillfully as a designer of garlands selects choice flowers? Sakha, trainee on the first stage of perfection, is able to grasp this earth, the human world, the dwellings of the unhappy ones, as well as the realm of the gods. He can bring forth the shining truth of the Dhamma, even as a skillful gardener selects choice flowers. See this body is fragile and transient as foam. Know that it is an insubstantial as foam, and thereby destroy the tempter's flowery arrows. Yourself beyond death's grasp. Just as a raging flood sweeps away a sleeping village, so does a death claim a man of distracted mind. As he continually seeks more and more of life's fleeting pleasures, death drowns the unsatisfied man, whose restless mind clutches for greater and greater pleasures. A monk should dwell and act in the village like a bee extracting honey from the flower, but leaving the color and fragrance intact. Pay no attention to harsh words uttered by others. Do not be concerned with what others have or have not done. Observe your own actions and inactions. Like a beautiful, brightly colored flower without fragrance is the well-spoken word without action. Like a beautiful, brightly colored flower full of fragrance is the well-spoken word and the deed that matches the word. A man born to this world should do many good deeds, as a garland maker makes garlands from a heap of flowers. The scent of flowers is carried no farther than the wind allows, neither the sandalwood, tiger, nor jasmine, but the fragrance of the deeds of good men spreads to the ends of the earth in all directions, regardless of the wind. The aroma of sandalwood, tiger, lotus, or vasiki is excellent. Superior to these is the fragrance of right action, right speech, and right way of earning one's living.
Your life is falling away. Death is at hand. Where will you rest on the way? What have you taken with you? You are the lamp to lighten the way. Then hurry, hurry. When your light shines purely, you will not be born, and you will not die. As a silversmith sifts dust from silver, remove your own impurities, little by little. Or, as iron is corroded by rust, your own mischief will consume you. Neglected, the sacred verses rust, for beauty rusts without use, and, unrepaired, the house falls into ruin, and the watch, without vigilance,